Hello, my needle drops. Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review: Macintosh Plus, Floral Shoppe. Macintosh Plus is the pseudonym of a music producer from America, and Macintosh Plus's latest release, along with a few others, are currently being celebrated as the dawning of a brand new genre. And yes, I understand if you're skeptical given the inconsistency of the last three new genres that we've had, like C-punk, witch house, and chillwave. But this new genre is vaporwave. 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 Yes, it does sound ridiculous. However, let's not slag a piece of music simply because of a term thrown onto it because some music fans or music writers are desperate to feel like they're on the cutting edge of something. If vaporwave is in fact a genre and does end up being recognized seriously as a genre, then it's most likely going to just become a subgenre of plunderphonics. Sample-based compositions, songs that take pieces of other songs to build those songs. However, I'm being told that the artists that are falling under this category of vaporwave are stylistically different from guys like DJ Shadow, Avalanches, Negativland, Girl Talk, as well as John Oswald, the man who coined the word plunderphonics. And I guess primarily what makes vaporwave different from other plunderphonics styles is its source material. Many projects in this genre of music that are most notably found on the Beer on the Rug Bandcamp page stick pretty passionately to using samples from smooth jazz, incidental music from maybe commercials, television shows from the late 80s, late 90s, contemporary R&B, maybe even adult-oriented rock, new age music, and synth funk as well, like the kind of sounds that Brian Eno was creating for Windows back when he was creating the Windows sound. And maybe it's music that you've had contact with if you've watched funny videos or TV commercials on everythingisterrible.com, or even seen a few sketches on Tim and Eric Awesome Show, Great Job. If you're at all familiar with those last two things, you know that this kind of music is constantly made a joke of by a lot of people. However, there is a growing post-ironic desire to listen to and wholeheartedly enjoy this kind of music, which is just the weirdest thing to me. Not that it's not enjoyable, but it's funny that in the internet age you can pretty much find and listen to anything, and almost anything can find an audience. And there are plenty of other artists that have made use of the sounds that vaporwave consists of for their own musical gain. Artists like Neon Indian, for example, maybe Ariel Pink as well, and especially an artist like James Ferraro. Now, vaporwave takes this kind of music and manipulates it, cuts it, loops it, maybe pitch shifts it as well. And specifically in the case of Macintosh Plus, it's almost like a chopped and screwed version of all these genres in the source material. So again, stylistically, theoretically, not that different from other plunderphonics artists. It really relies heavily on the kind of music it's sampling and the vibe that it gets from that. And that vibe consistently from track to track on this LP is smooth, synth-heavy, kind of sexy. The second track on here is a slowed down version of Diana Ross's Your Move, with a few choice grooves in the song cut and looped over and over and over and over until Macintosh Plus finally decides to kind of give up the chorus. And the end result with these really vocals crooning out, it's just a combination of sweet and eerie. It does have a good and kind of interesting sound to it, but I have to attribute that more to the songwriting and the way the song was produced as opposed to how the sounds were manipulated. Because how Macintosh Plus edits a lot of these songs, it's kind of boring. It's really uninspired. It really lets the song do all of the work. It's not like taking a song and turning it into a new song. It's really kind of like making a slowed down dance edit of the very same song that you're editing. Around the middle point of the track, there's some slapback echo. It gets super slow toward the end, but there's really no hint of some very creative loops or cuts. On the fourth track, Macintosh Plus kind of lets the song rather, do the work. Again, it's a revision of the Page song, You Need a Hero, which again has a likable sound, but is not impressively assembled. It's not until the third or fifth track on this LP that Macintosh Plus's editing skills actually get used to make a different song out of its source material. On track 3, there are a lot of skippy loops and edits to kind of build some original grooves out of the samples. There's some deep bass, some really silky smooth synthesizer, and Macintosh Plus repeats some pivotal parts of these beats in the way a DJ would if the song were being cut live, but I really have no assumption that anything on this album is being done on the fly. And on the fifth track here, all of these synthesizer loops, all of these piano sounds are taken off of a track and looped, placed over one another, and just kind of repeated reverb is thrown on top, and it becomes a bit of an ambient piece. But honestly, it was a little underwhelming. The only more ambient style piece on this album that I thought was really impressive was the seventh track. I actually liked that from beginning to end. The layers of synthesizers on that track got really ethereal, and I liked the way the saxophone kind of melted through it. If anyone is going to be impressed by this LP, it's most likely going to be people who have not heard the songs that are sampled on this album first. Because by sample-based music standards, the editing, the looping, again, just the execution is really underwhelming, leaves a lot to be desired. There's nothing on this LP that wasn't done better on an album like One Tricks Point Never's Replica, or Daniel Lopatin's other project, Chuck Pearson's Echo Jams Volume 1, which samples a lot of the same kind of music and is actually way more bold with its editing and its looping and its stretching of some of the songs that he uses. Aside from being underwhelmed by most of these tracks, there were a lot of songs on here that I did not like at all, like the opening track, where it's basically one section of a song crashing violently into another section that just sounds terrible and just incongruent. And on the bonus tracks that come with the latest edition of this album, there is a horrible, stretched out version of I Only Have Eyes for You, the Zap cover. I actually find sample-based music to be pretty interesting. I think the possibilities truly are endless, but Macintosh Plus is not even trying to explore a lot of those possibilities, and that's my number one issue with this LP. I'm actually feeling a decent to strong 4 on this album. Certainly it sounds nice, it has style, but there's really not much there in terms of how it's assembled. If you've given this a listen, what did you think of it? Did you love it? Hate it? Why? What should I review next? And that's it. Anthony Fantano, Macintosh Plus, Vaporwave, forever.